Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher, and this is Sweetwater's iOS Update. This installment, I've got a 4-track recording app for your iOS device. We'll take a look at Sonoma Wireworks guitar jack, and I've got a tip on using the Alesis IO Dock with your iPad 3. Let's dive in. Our featured app today is Sonoma Wireworks 4-track. Now, 4-track is a 4-track recorder that's very similar in concept to a cassette 4-track recorder. It has a mixer on this page, there's a pan control, there's a level control for each of the 4 tracks, so you can overdub in 4 different tracks and then mix them down, but it has additional tools as well. For example, there's a built-in metronome. It can play either drum beats, as you heard there, or it can play regular clicks like a regular metronome would. In addition to that, we have built-in guitar effects, so you can choose a variety of different amps, you can add effects to those amps, so you can come up with all kinds of different sounds, save them as presets, and then play through them as you're recording your tracks. We have a variety of other tools as well. There's some audio processing tools, there's master effects, you can bounce your mixes out, so a lot you can do within this seemingly simple little app to create song ideas, to come up with arrangements, and to work with all kinds of different musical concepts. Now, 4-track is a very simple app to operate, which makes it great for capturing song ideas. What I've done is set up the metronome to play a drum part in the background, and then I've recorded into track 1 with the rhythm guitar part. Now, to add a lead guitar part on top of that, or if we wanted to plug in a microphone, capture a vocal part, we could put a bass on, whatever we were doing, it's as simple as arming another track. When you do, you can add your guitar processing. In this case, I've got a fairly distorted lead kind of tone set up there. And if we go back to our song, I got my track arm. So I'm coming in on track 2. Now, recording is as simple as sliding the record button and beginning to play. You get the idea. Very fast, very easy to operate. I could go on and do my 3rd track. In fact, it automatically moves over to the 3rd track and sets me up so I'm ready to overdub on that as soon as I finish playing my 2nd track. So it's a fast app to operate. It's very simple. I really like it for capturing song ideas. To get your guitar signal into your iOS device, it helps to have a really good interface. The one I'm using today is also from Sonoma Wireworks, the same as our 4-track app was. This is the guitar jack. Now, the guitar jack is a very straightforward interface. It has a guitar input, headphone output. It also has a microphone input for recording vocals or acoustic guitar or any acoustic instruments into your iPad or iOS device. It has no controls, so it's very simple to operate. And what I really like about it is it's a great sounding interface. It has 24-bit resolution, and it comes through with great dynamics, great clarity on the signal. When you're running into an amp simulator like I was earlier, it gets a really great sound out of it. If you're recording with a vocal mic, it also gives you a really pure, clear sound into your iOS device. The Alesis IO Dock is a very powerful studio accessory for your iPad. It gives you MIDI in and out, it gives you speaker outputs, headphone outs, there are guitar and microphone inputs, so it really lets your iPad serve as a centerpiece for your studio. When the IO Dock was released, it was created for the iPad 1, so the iPad 1 will slide right in and mount into the docking connector that's inside. The iPad 2 required an insert in order to make it work with the IO Dock, and now the iPad 3 needs another type of insert which will actually be available in August for the IO Dock. In the meantime, I've got some workarounds for you that will let you use your iPad 3 with the IO Dock. The first is the one that I least recommend, and that's just sliding your iPad 3 in and mounting it onto the dock connector. The problem here is we're putting a force on that dock connector, and I really don't like that. It will work. I'm using it here with GarageBand. You can play back to the headphones, get audio input, so it does work just fine, but it's my least recommended. A better solution is to take the insert for mounting the iPad 2 inside the IO Dock, and there's a little lip that runs along the edge that slides inside the IO Dock. If you shave that down, your iPad 3 will still slide into it, and it allows that to be mounted properly so that the dock connector lines up. And that's a pretty good solution because your iPad 3 is still mounted inside the IO Dock. A third solution is to use a dock extender cable. Basically, this is an extension cord that goes from a female dock connector to a male dock connector. Slide your iPad out of here. The female dock connector goes inside the IO Dock like this. Connect the male side to your iPad. And basically, it's as if you're plugged right into that same IO Dock. We've got the same connections. We can run our audio inputs and outputs, so all of that works just fine. The disadvantage is that you're not actually mounted inside the dock, so it's not held quite as firmly. But if you want to use the I/O capability of the I/O dock with your iPad without having to modify the insert, this is a good way to make that work. And again, we will have an insert coming from Alesis later this year that will allow you to slide your iPad 3 in and it'll work just fine. Thanks for joining me for Sweetwater's iOS update. Be sure to tune in next time for more tech tips, more music making apps, and more accessories for your iPad, your iPhone, and your iPod Touch. I'm Mitch Gallagher, Editorial Director at Sweetwater.